Flash versus Bravo.
Well, bottom right of the map, we currently have our Terran player in blue. This is Flash. He's currently 0-1 in the series. And one more map lost and he is out. Starting to the top left, we have his opponent. This is Bravo.
See how much he's sweating here. Not so much this time. Looking pretty chill.
Yeah,
it's every game in the series, so.
Bravo is not impressed.
No. Planning to hear it said that way, but no.
I'm very surprised. Flash has a pretty good Terran versus Terran, and I did not expect Bravo, a player that has played offline one TVT nearly a year ago and lost that, to take the first map like this. I mean, of course, a year ago, since then he practiced a lot and he probably improved quite a bit, but Flash is the one who gets all the exposure. Flash is the one who is playing at Pro League and other tournaments like all the time, playing in the booth in front of a camera, who is the one who should be not nervous at all, but really used to the conditions here. Whereas for Bravo, this is novelty, this is a new situation. He must be nervous playing in front of an audience, playing in front of cameras. So the exact opposite of what I expected just happened.
For me, I look at this and I say, well, that was a timing attack. It was a weird timing. Flash wasn't able to identify it, and then he made a weird choice, hesitated to attack the Marines with his Hellions, could have bought some time a little bit faster, and he didn't. And he lost a game that was kind of strange, and he lost to a timing attack. It wasn't really a builder loss. It was just a really well-executed timing for Bravo. And for me, the way that looks to me is just like, that's just one game, that's one set. This is a mistake by Flash letting this SCB in here. But if I'm Flash, I'm not nervous. I don't get stressed out because I'm Flash. I've been in that booth. I have all that experience, like you said before, you know, 100 times in Brood War, StarCraft 2, Pro League, both Pro League and StarCraft 1 and in StarCraft 2. I don't think he's going to get nervous here, and I think that I want to really reserve judgment for how this series is going to go until I watch like a mid game of unfold.
Until the series is over, and you know.
I don't want to call this one way or another because that timing for Bravo was crisp and a little bit strange.
Well, I'm not calling it, but I'm saying that Flash is going to get nervous here. Because Flash has said in the past that he was not really happy with his performance in the individual league. He was, of course, like his performance in Pro League is pretty stellar, but at the same time, he was not, especially when he emerged in the scene, and compared to the performance that we saw from Jadong, he said in several interviews that he feel he underperformed there a little bit. And I feel that he has very, very high expectations towards himself, and feels he is not only someone who... He's probably already unhappy that he's not the first person to come out of this group because of the expectations he sets himself. And now being so far behind, I feel he's probably going to get a little bit nervous and feels that there's a lot of pressure on him.
That's definitely something to consider. I mean, he definitely has repeatedly said everything you said, and this is like his career here, right? You know, he wants to be considered one of the best players in the world, and he might not even be able to be in the highest league because he loses a TPT against somebody who hasn't played as many televised matches as him.
He should be able to deal with this pressure because of his experience, but at the same time, I'm very sure that he feels it.
He feels something.
And the problem is, I would still give him an edge in the best of 3 in general, and he can definitely come back from an 0-1. But at the same time, if he makes a single mistake, it's over. Like, this is already it. That these are his last 2 chances, and there is no room for mistakes anymore. And for Bravo, that must feel pretty good.
Bravo has a later command center here. Well, he's got a faster command center, a faster orbital, but a later saturation. So when it comes to expansion, these 2 players are relatively even. On the other hand, Flash is getting a faster Hellion production out. He's already got 2 on the map. He's getting the 3rd and 4th. And he's going back again. As I predicted, for this map, Megs just seems to be great. And I think that we're going to see the same from Bravo, considering that he hasn't made any Marines for a really long time. They're both sticking at 4, which is just enough Marines to put in a bunker. What Bravo does here is starts a fast 3rd command center, something that Flash needs to identify ASAP, because if he doesn't know this is happening, and he just plays safe and defensively on his own, maybe tries a Hellion run by here or there, which is not going to do critical damage, and doesn't realize his opponent has triple SCV production and a very fast 3rd, he's going to get very behind very quickly.
It's definitely a scary situation to be in for him right now. We have him with a Raven started here, so also preparing, of course, for potential Banshee play at the same time. When you push out, the point defense drone is going to become very crucial. Scan in the main base of Flash, identifying what's happening here. He sees the starport with a tech lab. He realizes, though, that there is no add-on started.
Yeah, where there's no add-on being used.
Being used. So we don't see an
no
upgrade.
cloak. Yeah, no cloak coming out. Not even a fake. So you can't fake not cloaking. And Flash has been scanned twice now. So that's 2 mules for Bravo, but he's about to have triple mules with that 3rd orbital. Flash, on the other hand, is playing totally blind. This is his only scout the entire game. And that's got to be a Flash scan. Okay, greatly well-placed and well-timed. Sees the command center, sees the barracks, or rather the lack thereof.
Bravo.
Actually, there's a barracks that's being built? Yeah, okay, so he does see he's going bio.
Bravo is going into Blue Flame. Well, he completed that upgrade.
Did he complete that, or did he fake it and cancel it?
I'm not sure. I took a guess then.
I guess we'll find out. I think he fakes that he's getting an upgrade for Blue Flame to make Flash think he's doing something weird.
Every time I saw it in the past and an upgrade was cancelled, it was actually just completed. And
this happened to me yesterday with the lair.
Yeah, how far ahead it was. Exactly. So that happens to me like all the time. That's why usually now I go like, okay, didn't do that. Yeah, I actually completed it. But we're going to find out probably really soon. I guess we're going to see that tab at some point.
Yeah, well, there's a third PC, or third PC. There's a third CC.
He doesn't have any Hellions and doesn't build any right now, so he probably faked it and cancelled it.
Yeah. I'm almost 100% certain as well.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
He could have faked the transformation servos instead, but he goes for Blue Flame.
It doesn't make any sense to build that and not get Hellions. So right now the wall is being started here. The siege tank's of course moving forward a little bit because he wants to get access to that 3rd mineral line. The Banshee is already moving in, and we have Cloak being researched for Flash now indeed. So Cloak is going to arrive in time for him to do some damage with that. We do not have a Raven just yet for Bravo, so if he really wants to shut the Raven out, he needs to start using his scans.
I like the position for Flash a lot in this game. He starts Hellbats, actually. And Cloak is finished, like you mentioned. He's going to be able to do a little bit of harassment with his Banshee, which he delayed the Banshee harass. The Banshee was waiting over there because he showed that he didn't have Cloak early on, and then got Cloak later, so this is going to throw Bravo off a little bit. Flash gets his 3rd command center up around the same time as Bravo, because Bravo stayed in his main base with this for so long. Then Flash, with his pressure with his Hellions, is able to secure a 3rd base without having to lift it out of his main. So he actually closes the gap in timings there and gets 6 gases up instantly. So he is at, about 700 gas per minute with the 6 gases, which is exactly what he wants to make. He's getting the real Blue Flame right now.
Yep.
And this is the first glimpse that Bravo has into knowing for certain that it's mech that he's up against.
Here comes the Banshee. The Banshee is flying right into the Viking, being attacked there. We should see the Cloak upgrade being used, and that's exactly the case. And because of that attack that we just saw, I don't think that Bravo realized that suddenly a Banshee in the main base, a Banshee at the natural, and immediately the missile turrets being started. But those guys are going to do a lot of damage. We have 1 scan available. That's all that he has.
Yep, and where did that scan go?
12 harvesters down,
location.
14 down. This is absolutely brutal. He's losing so many harvesters at this point.
Yep, and the attack that we saw from Bravo just cannot actually finish the game. He can't do a massive amount of damage with this.
Oh my god, at the natural, he's going to kill every single one of them. 26 harvesters killed.
Turret's not ready though, and this is a big problem. Not as big as the Banshee problem, but still a big problem.
Yeah, he has to deal with that, but I don't think that Bravo can recover from this much damage.
The siege tank here, 2 siege tanks, the point defense drone. He's basically lost this game counter.
Well, he's certainly very, very far behind. I'm not quite sure if he lost it just yet, but he is so far behind that if Flash doesn't mess up big time, he should be able to clench out a victory, because he's on 3 bases on his own. It's 60 harvester supply against 46 now.
He's up 40 supply in a TVT with a better composition, basically.
30 harvesters were killed there by 2 Banshees. The
Ouch.
2 upgrades coming up, but Flash with the mech composition that he plays
against a very small Bioforce, because he lost so much of it earlier.
Yeah.
And he has his 3rd base up now.
With the triple command center, you can get the mules in there and bridge that for a little bit. If you look at the income for both players, it's still the same. Flash can use a lot more scans now and get a good feel for the position of his opponent, but in terms of sheer income, it's roughly still the same. Bravo is trailing a little bit behind, but the mules can help him out for quite some time here.
All these turrets being made for Flash, knowing that his biggest weak point is drop play in his main base. He has a Hellion, Hellbat, Siege Tank force that's ready to come out here and fight anything that he runs into. Sensor Tower also going to let him know any approach angles for any drops, any attacks by ground that come towards his 3rd base, come towards his natural. I'm thinking we're probably going to see a 2nd Sensor Tower even closer to the 3rd base so that he gets even more vision. He has the floating barracks to the right side of the map to spot drops, which will come right towards his missile turrets. There's no weak point here for Flash, and he's up 30 supply. Bravo needs a miracle right now. The switch into multiple starports to take control of air is a good choice, but I'm not sure if he's going to survive long enough for it.
Yeah, Flash is moving out with 100 mix supply. He has those 2 medivacs immediately with a job on the Hellbats, getting them in the middle of his opponent's army, and Flash about to crush the force of Bravo and bring this into a 3rd game. Bravo is on the run here, 50 army supply against 92, and Flash, he doesn't chase him, he isn't being baited here, he's going straight to the top left.
He's got the turrets up, he's got ample defense at his 3rd base for the ground army. There's not even any medivacs for him to worry about, so he's just going to continue the push. He's got a great siege up here. He had dropped some point defense drone to stop even more Marauder shots. And the attack here at the 3rd base, like I said, ample defense is ready. And he's not really going to be phased by this. He may have to cancel 1 command center, but even if he doesn't, I don't think it's going to matter. Up 50 supply here, sieging up the 3rd base.
5 Marines and 7 Marauders are not going to win Bravo this battle.
No. The SCVs are being chased by Hellbats, and that's a disaster. Command center being lifted here, chased by Vikings.
And the siege tanks are just obliterating the entire supply depot wall that we have there, and then he can move into the natural as soon as he wants to. That command center is going to down on the low ground, but he is going to lose that as soon as those Vikings go into the assault mode. They could also just watch it burn.
Yeah, that's basically the position here.
Yeah.
Flash is slowly but steadily moving his way all the way up the ramp right now.
Yeah, some Vikings just want to watch the command center burn.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I thought you might say that. The siege tanks come up here, start to siege up this command center. Point defense drone's out of energy, but it just doesn't matter. The Banshee transition that we almost saw happen is just too late. There's no Vikings to support it.
Bravo just got flashed, or Banshee.
GG.
GG and game, and Flash brings it into game number 3, into the final game of the set.
He's winking at me. Well, we go into a 3rd game here, and I like the game. Game number 1 was like weird timing. Flash got caught with his pants down, made like 1 small choice that could have been made better, and it cost him the whole game basically. And even without that choice, he might have still lost it because of the way that the unit's compositions lined up. But that game we just watched was a more straight-up game. And in a more straight-up game like that, where you get to see 2 players play different styles but on a big map, and Flash just makes the better strategic decisions, like showing no cloak, hiding his Banshee, then making a 2nd Banshee, then allowing cloak to finish. Like that timing that he had, that decision-making was just incredible. Plus all the turrets made in the main base.
What won him the game was basically Bravo falling for the scan. When he scanned, there was no upgrade started at the tech lab, so he assumed there's no cloak. Flash started the cloak a little bit later, hit with 2 Banshees at the same time, and killed half of the harvesters that Bravo had. And Bravo the entire time assumed, you have no cloak upgrade, you might go for a Banshee, I have a Viking position. He had a Viking positioned at the, I think it was actually also 2 Vikings that he had at that point in time, and they were all at the main base. So if there was no cloak upgrade, he just simply takes down the Banshees and he can focus on the battle. But he didn't even realize that the Banshees were moving in, because
Viking
at the same time... No, the Viking saw. The Viking attacked
right, I mean,
the
he didn't see the Viking. Like, the Viking shot it, but he didn't notice it himself.
Exactly, because he was busy with the attack at the bottom. So that's also why he didn't hear that the Banshee was in the base. When he saw, he immediately started building the missile turrets, but it was already too late. And he lost about 30 SCVs, and from that point on, everything was just, like, gone.
So, I have a theory that we might have lag problem again.
Maybe.
I'll explain this theory, because suddenly the lights came on, and we came on camera.
That's a pretty solid theory that you got there.
This is not a pattern yet, but this has happened once before.
This happens basically every single time we have a problem.
And, yeah, but I mean just today. So, basically 2 times doesn't make a pattern, but I have this idea, you know, I have this kind of theory that's going on, it's building in my mind that we may have another 5-minute break if the lag problem is not resolved soon. There's no way anyone would tell me otherwise or confirm anything to me in my headset or anything like that, but I have this idea that this could possibly happen.
Could happen. I guess production is going to keep us updated as soon as they know what's going on. Maybe the Korean commentators also wanted just to have a look at the replay again.
That would be really cool. I'd be down.
The one thing that I mean, for me the crucial point was really when those Banshees entered the base and there was nothing to defend against them. There was no scan energy, there was nothing to really force them back, so that's where he kind of lost the game already. So it could be both, I feel.